Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company of Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Semoskiy Winter. Our heroes today are going to be BartonPL, playing for the Soviets, and we have Symbiosis playing for the Germans. Two very well-known players in the community, and they are facing off in the Semoskiy Winter version. And we can see that right off the bat, both players have actually already selected their doctrines or commanders. Symbiosis has gotten himself the Spearhead Doctrine, given him that Panzer Tactician, the Mortar, Tiger, and all that. And for Barton, he got himself the Counterattack Tactics, one of the newer commanders, the one that has that artillery gun that fires one shot that obliterates everything and is always dead on where it wants to shoot. So yeah, quite interesting that both have selected it. Keep in mind that both doctrines do not have a zero-cost unit or call-in, like say Holztruppens or the Assault Grenadiers and things like that. So they can't really benefit from it right now, but they are locked into that choice already throughout the game. So let's see how it works out. So anyway, since they can't call anything in by their commanders, both players have simply just gotten themselves some units, and we can see that Barton, like most Soviets, got himself conscripts, and is now up to 2 conscripts right now, with a third being produced. Symbiosis, on the other hand, got himself, like most Germans, Tier 1, got himself a Grenadier squad, and the second follow-up is a MG42. Not the most usual setup, but not a bad one at all. I mean, Symbiosis is pretty awesome, so we'll see how that works out. So we see that the Grenadier squad is going south, running across the frozen river, and going to go straight for that fuel point. While the MG42 is not actually going to support, it's going over to the center of the map, maybe capturing this point, perhaps. First engagement up north, we see it by a conscript squad and a Pioneer, trying to capture that fuel. Pioneer, though, is forced off of the field by those conscripts, so the conscripts will be able to capture that fuel without much of opposition. Combat engineers for Barton are a little bit further back, capturing that strategic point, which will link up that fuel as soon as it gets captured. And the Grenadiers for Symbiosis are capturing the fuel point down south. Also down south, we see a conscript squad just capturing territory, and a second Grenadier squad hitting the field for Symbiosis, while at the same time a second MG42 is being produced for Symbiosis. So interesting opening. So Grenadier has MG, Grenadier, MG. Kind of cool. Grenadier in the center getting engaged by a conscript squad. Both of them just move out of the way. Grenadiers getting into heavy cover while the conscripts just run around and jump a fence to get a little bit more cover around this section. Grenadiers, noticing this, just move back into the zone and start capturing the territory, while the MG42 is set up covering the rear. Down south, conscripts decapping that fuel point, and Pioneers going to the right-hand side. So major engagement in the center. We have conscripts up north in that house, while at the same time we have conscripts down south on the other side of that fence. The MG42 is not set up in range of this conscript squad, so it's focusing on the squad in that house, considering that the angle just barely covers that house. So it is going to do some damage, and the conscripts might be able to move up on it, but it is a little bit of a risky move considering how open the field is. Grenadiers moving over to the right-hand side to engage those conscripts in the house, but since they are in the house, they will be able to outlast them for quite a while. Or, well, not outlast, but last there for a while. Conscripts in the fuel point do decap it and decide to jump in to get a little bit of a view of the battlefield. They notice that there's nothing nearby. There is an MG42 moving up on this position, but still not in range to stop it. But they decide to not capture that point, and in fact, they're going to go for the flank on this MG42, perhaps. MG42 is moving up to get into the house, but it is not actually in the house, so these conscripts are actually going to be in a great position. MG42 will open on both of these conscript squads, but this one is already on the flank right on top of it. And are we going to see a Molotov? Yes, Molotov does get tossed right on top of the MG. Is down to 2 men. Can it actually make it out alive? It is trudging through the heavy snow. Does actually choose a perfect retreat path on the other side of the house through the lake, and is going to make it out alive. However, the MG42 is now off of the field, so these Grenadiers are engaged on all sides. 2 conscripts on the south, 1 conscript in front of them, and a flamethrower equipped engineer that is now getting retreated. Molotov going right on top of the Grenadiers, forcing away one entire squad. Down to one man. Can it actually make it out alive? It is running through the snow, getting shot at by that conscript squad, and down goes the Grenadier for Symbiosis. Quite unfortunate. Very nice move there by Barton. Still moving up with his conscript. One of them jumping into the house, the other one taking the road, the other one through the ice. The MG42 down south does get turned around to open up on these conscripts, but is barely at the edge, and down goes another Grenadier squad. This is not turning out well for Symbiosis. Down two Grenadier squads. Sniper does hit the field for Symbiosis, so that's going to help him out a bit, but he is needing to produce another Grenadier squad that is hitting the field just now, and yeah, having to replace those combat units. Snipers and MGs can work out, but they are very immobile, so it's going to be very difficult for the sniper to be very effective right now. Cutoff point does get taken by Barton in front of Symbiosis' base. He's going to have to recapture that. He's actually using the sniper right now to recapture that point. While on the right-hand side, the conscripts are just simply moving around, getting a flank on that MG. Oh, very unfortunate position. That conscript is going to force off that MG42. MG42 quickly packs off and retreats, so not even a Molotov is going to get dropped on top of it. Pioneers on the fuel point are going to have to retreat as well. So yeah, this is not looking good for Symbiosis at all. He is getting pushed off of the map completely. He did recapture his cutoff point, so he's getting a temporary boost on his income, but these conscripts will eventually decap that fuel, while over here this victory point is getting cut off. Well, decapped. So yeah, because of the fact that he doesn't have combat troops, he is not able to do much. LMG getting equipped on the brand new Grenadiers. Grenadiers are going over to the right-hand side on the south, going to try to force off these conscripts, or potentially these ones, but it looks like it's more focused on the victory point. Rifle nade? No. It looks like he might have been waiting for a rifle nade, but the conscripts do shift position and manage to, well, not get shot. Rifle nade does get tossed to where the conscripts were, but the conscript had already dodged that, and the Molotov goes down. Well, it's an anticipating Molotov, hoping to catch those Grenadiers. One of them is in the flames, so it might actually, catch fire. And Symbiosis decides to move him out of the flames, not take much more damage, and just simply fight at range. Sniper in the center of the map, going over for the victory point. There isn't really anything nearby for it to worry about. We got conscripts up north. This point is not taken by a cache, so should be able to be taken. And the conscripts do decide to retreat, with the Grenadiers doing some damage to it. There is a conscript squad in this house, which will delay these Grenadiers. There is a MG42 on the right-hand side, which is going to capture that victory point, but it's not going to help out against these conscripts. So, tech-wise, we do see that Barton got himself tier 2 and is producing nothing from it. Probably going to use it as a stepping stone for tier 3, perhaps. And we have Symbiosis getting tier 2 and an AT gun. So he is expecting some type of vehicle to come on the field. And that is not a bad assumption. It is actually a very good assumption considering how the game is going for him. Fuel is now currently in the possession of Barton, so he is going to be capable of building a vehicle, but he has not gotten himself tech yet, so we will see. And there we go, tier 3 getting dropped. So yeah, he actually has enough to already produce a T-34, so he'll probably get that as soon as possible. So for the meantime, we do see Symbiosis playing a little bit passively. He did suffer a lot of losses with those two Grenadier squads going down, so he doesn't have the momentum that he would have wanted to have at this point of the game. MG42 in this house does pin down that conscript squad. Sniper also opens on the conscript squad, bringing it down to 4 men. There is a conscript squad trying to Ura on top of the sniper. It does get a nice volley off and does about half health. But it looks like the sniper is going to make it off. Shock troops were trying to intercept it just as well, but the pack gun actually landed a very nice shot, killing one of those shock troops and stunning the rest of the squad, forcing it to back off. Symbiosis will need a med bunker if he wants to bring those forces and the sniper back at full health. Otherwise, he's going to run the risk of losing it very easily. And yeah, so shock troops getting called in by Barton, already on top of the field, and a mortar hafter getting called in by Symbiosis. Not a bad choice there. T-34, the will probably be called onto the field in a little while. MG42 over here on the right-hand side does pin down that shock troop. He's going to force that off of the field unless Barton wants to suffer heavy losses on that. And yeah, there it goes on the retreat, so that's fine. Sniper capturing that point. Cutoff point in front of the base. And at the same time, conscripts capturing this strategic point. Reconnaissance overflight called in by Barton, going straight onto the enemy base, essentially, the territory over here. So it is going to be able to... I'm not sure if it reveals. Yeah, it's actually going to reveal that sniper, allowing it to get picked off if Symbiosis is not careful. Yeah, you can see it every time that it passes. It actually reveals the sniper, so that's quite nice. Northern part of the field, we see Pioneers and a Grenadier squad just going for the fuel. Symbiosis is a little bit desperate on the fuel front right now. And actually I had the wrong view, but oh well, whatever. Symbiosis has gotten himself tier 2, which got him that AT gun, but nothing else from it. Barton, however, is going for T-70s. Quite interesting. T-70 is actually going to work out quite well. There is no heavy armor for it to worry about. It's just that PAC gun on the field, and it's going straight for those Grenadiers. Grenadiers are probably going to try to Faust it, but it's backing off, and now supported by 2 conscript squad. That Grenadier's in a lot of trouble, and off it goes. It's going to have to retreat. Retreats through the ice, because, well, this is the frozen wastelands, and, yeah, quite nice. Ooh, that sniper is gonna probably get... Oh, yeah, that sniper's dead. Yeah, quite unfortunate there. Symbiosis is gonna try to retreat, but I think it's gonna lose it. Oh, very, very close. Oh, the very nice shot there by the mortar stuns the conscript, and that sniper barely makes it out alive. Now he definitely needs a med bunker if he wants to use that sniper at all. Otherwise, if it farts, it's gonna die. MG42 still set up over here on the right-hand side. We do see a shock troop going over to this point and might actually be vaulting. Yeah, he looks like he's gonna vault over the fence. This shock troop did get pinned down by that MG42 a little while ago. So yeah, very nice. And that MG42 retreats quite instantly. So very nice movement there by Barton. Combat engineers are now moving to the zone. So Symbiosis just keeps on losing territory. And the T-70 is currently with combat mode, increasing its line of sight, which actually gives it a lot of line of sight, but doesn't see the mortar half track. And the second T-70 up north is going to try to catch that sniper probably. Also going to do a lot of damage to those Grenadiers. One shot goes off, down goes one Grenadier, and the sniper also retreats. And a third T-70 on the field for Barton. Symbiosis needs something on the field, something heavy. He does have a Panzer Grenadier squad with Shreks, but against T-70s, Panzer Grenadiers don't do that great. I mean, yeah, the Shreks are going to do a lot of damage to the T-70, but T-70 is probably going to rip them to shreds before they can actually finish it off. They can simply just kite them endlessly. So, yeah, you can see there the barrage went off. T-70 reporting a little bit of damage, then it went off. T-70 going straight into the center of the map, taking a shot by that PAC gun. It did do some damage to the half track. T-70 is going to back off a little bit. The PAC gun is right out of its range. It did back off quite nicely. And some damage was done by the T-70. A fourth T-70 getting produced by Barton. Yeah, Symbiosis desperately needs some type of armor on the field, and he doesn't have any tech for that. I mean, supposedly scout cars with their up gun could potentially take out T-70s, but it's quite of a gamble because T-70 can also take out the scout cars as well. So, considering that there's 4 T-70s on the field right now for Barton, I don't think Symbiosis considers that an option. Pioneers running through 2 T-70s, down to 2 men, aren't going to be able to make it out alive. We now see Grenadiers and Snipers pushing onto the field. Symbiosis doesn't have anything connected. His point right outside his base is barely getting retaken by that MG42. This point is taken by the Grenadiers now, but look at that income. 7 fuel for Symbiosis, 37 for Barton. allowing him to get all of those T-70s. You normally wouldn't be able to get so many, at least not as easily. Wow. Really don't know what Symbiosis can do at this point, aside from... No, I mean, really, I don't know. I mean, pack guns would be great. Panzer Faust, I guess, would also work. Down goes one T-70. Very nice pickup there for Symbiosis. Did get barraged by that Panzer Grenadier, but these Panzer Grenadiers are in a very collapsible house. Look at that health. This house might be going down in a couple seconds, and if it goes down, down goes those Panzer Tricks as well. Conscripts moving into the center. Down goes an entire Grenadier squad. The sniper is out in the open, gets executed by those T-70s. And now they're going for the Panzer Tricks. Oh no, get him out of there, get him out of there. Oh, barely gets him out of there on time. Down goes the house, but those Panzer Tricks are alive. Pack gun out in the ice is trying to fend off all those T-70s, but what can he do against 3 T-70s? I mean, Panzer Tricks, Fausts are gonna do something, but not a lot. Jesus. For Mother Russia getting popped for the conscripts, allowing them to rush and also getting combat bonuses. Does it actually say what it is? Has increased defensive and defensive. So it doesn't actually say exactly what it does, so if anybody can tell me, let me know. But yeah, basically a buff. My god, pack gun getting taken by Barton. This is a slaughter. T-70s are now down to 2, but I don't know what Symbiosis can actually do for this. Again, he doesn't have the fuel income to be able to even get any types of tanks. I mean, he would waste pretty much all his fuel in getting a building, you know, for say a Panzer IV or something. So it looks like the Mother Russia buff actually affects the AT gun as well. It's moving kind of fast. More half track, MG42. So we can see now that Symbiosis is suffering quite greatly, down to 1 Grenadier, 1 Panzer Grenadier, an AT gun that just got produced, MG42, Pioneer, and the mortar half track. Nice combined arms, I suppose you could say, but not a lot. He's already lost his sniper. And Barton has the entire map. Yeah. And we now have a KV-1 hitting the field. KV-1 is a heavy tank. It's not the one with the flamethrower, so yeah.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory. We shall fight as never before, Commander. Just give the order.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game is over. I'm not sure exactly how long it's gonna take, but I honestly don't see how Symbiosis can come back from this. It would have to be a very heavy losses, you know, Barton for some reason losing all his tanks or something, but you know, those T-70s are just gonna rip the infantry that's available on the field to shreds. I mean, I don't know if there's any coming back from this. KV-1 just guarding the approach through the ice. We do see conscripts up north, shock troops as well, chasing a Pioneer squad that's going for the fuel point. Reconnaissance overflight by Barton, just making sure that he knows everything that's going on around here. I mean, you can check the line of sight that it gives him. He sees everything right here. He knows exactly where everything is. Yeah. And a third T-70 getting produced. You know, just to add on top of that, this T-70 actually got better one. And on the right-hand side, Grenadiers was just capturing territory. For Mother Russia, getting popped again, enabling all the troops to simply rush forward. Nice nade goes down, does a lot of damage to that MG42, along with a Molotov, forcing them off, and the KV-1 is now just heading into the base, doing some damage to that pack gun. The pack gun is going to set up and start taking shots at the KV-1, but it is a heavy tank, so the frontal armor is able to deflect the pack gun shots. Second shot does penetrate a little bit, and here comes the T-70. The pack gun is going to turn towards the first T-70, does a lot of damage to it, but is now going to get decrewed. manages to get one last shot off, and the KV-1 is now in front of the base. It is going to get shot by those Panzer Tricks. Panzer Tricks do refocus on the T-70s, getting one of them down. Mortar half-track does go down for Symbiosis. T-70 is just popping shots at everything, trying to get that Pioneer. The KV-1 is just standing off at range, doing some damage, but not it's great against infantry, it looks like the T-70, but it is, well, in front of the base and not being able to take out. Panzer Treks do fire off a volley, doing some very nice damage to the KV-1, actually, bringing it down to about 50% health. And we now see the KV-1 backing off with another T-70 being produced. So very heavy on those T-70s. Not a bad choice in usage of this doctrine, I gotta say, because with the KV-1 you have the ability to call in a tank, and it's only 120 fuel, so it's not as fuel intensive as other tanks. You know, they require over 200 fuel because they're Collins. It's very similar. I mean, it's what, 5 more fuel than a and then an Su-85. So I mean, that's not really that expensive, especially since you can just simply call it in. Obviously, you have to get those command points first, but you know, going tier 3, getting those medium tanks, and then having that ability to call a heavier tank, pretty good. Pretty good, I gotta say. So Grenadiers over here on the right-hand side, just being annoying, capping stuff. We do see the KV-1 trying to go hunt them down. T-70's in the center of the map, just trying to get themselves repaired, while Pack Gun and, well, Stolen Pack Gun and Conscripts just hold the line in front of the base, focusing against everything that's trying to come out of there. T-70's over here, T-70's over here. Panzer Grenadiers with no Shreks getting caught way out of position by those T-70s are going to get executed by both of them. T-70's moving in to support, down to 1, and should be killing it off. There we go, so down 1 Panzer Grenadier squad. Panzer Shrek 1s are opening up on the Pack Gun, trying to clear it out. Might be able to do so if they can destroy the gun. But this Grenadier squad over here looks like it got finished off by that KV-1. KV-1 did take a Faust and is now damaged on the engine. There is a dropped LMG, which could get picked up by one of those conscripts. But again, like I mentioned, I really don't know what Symbiosis can do. I think the game was lost a while ago. Barton did a pretty good job at keeping the fields for himself, but I think essentially this game went downhill for Symbiosis at the very beginning when he lost those two Grenadier squad. Sorry, I blanked out on the name for some reason. T-70's up north, just harassing base sectors. It looks like this MG is over here. Looks like one might have gotten taken out over here, but interestingly, we see 2 squads of shock troops on the other side of this forest, or Barton might be waiting to ambush something. There is an MG42 set up right here, opening up on the conscripts, and the shock troops are moving on for a massive flank of that MG42. Look at that damage go down by those shock troops. MG42 is trying to retreat, but it is going to run through the shock troops, getting cleared out, and the shock troops are simply just going to back off. They do get suppressed. One of the squads gets suppressed by the base sector MG. Can they actually make it out of there? They are going to just stand there, probably throw a nade, I suppose. No, it looks like he's not actually going to throw a nade. And we now have a half-track on the field for Barton. Where is it? Here it is. That half-track is going to be able to reinforce those units on the fly. This shock troop does get forced off of the field because it is pinned down. Second MG42 is also pinning down this conscript, which should probably retreat instead of taking, too much damage. And we now have another KV-1 called into the field by Barton. And what can Symbiosis do? Nothing. He has 2 Panzer Grenadiers. Maybe get some tricks on the other one if he can afford it, but that's about it. Pack Gun. Yeah, like I said, I think the game was lost a while ago. Symbiosis just hasn't wanted to leave the game. But yeah, like I said, I mean, essentially since he lost those 2 Grenadiers at the very earlier game, that is way too difficult to come back from. 1 Grenadier squad, understandable. I mean, shit happens, you lose a squad, and okay, you just have to regroup and come back from that. But 2, the only 2 he had that early on, yeah, I mean, that basically spelled it the rest of the game. So KV-1 coming into the center of the map is going to take some shots at those brand new Grenadiers. These Grenadiers haven't actually fired a shot or done anything really. And they're not getting shot by a tank. Down with one of those Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers going up against the half-track, they do fire a volley of Shreks, doing some nice damage to the half-track. The half-track does have to back off. It is supported by a conscript squad and the other KV-1, which is currently getting repaired, about halfway health right now. And we have shock troops over on the right-hand side. Not exactly sure what they're doing. Maybe setting up in a position where they can ambush any units that get called in. Maybe. I don't know exactly what they're trying to do though. Oh, they're gonna vault over that fence. Oh wow. Yep. And now we got shock troops in the base. Base, not face, but whatever. And we see Grenadiers pulling back. Panzer Grenadiers also retreating to face those shock troops. And the shock troops are going forward into the base sector. They might be wanting to throw a nade at something. No. Not exactly sure what they're doing. I mean, they do have that vet. I mean, well, not the vet advantage, but the advantage that these units don't have vet. And nade goes down on the P.A.K.A. The P.A.K.A. is going to pack off and move out of the way. The shock troops are going to try to clear it off, but they actually accomplish their goal, which is to make it move. And here comes the tanks. There goes the T-70s running across the ice. 3 T-70s followed up by KV-1s. None of these KV-1s are actually still back there. T-70, T-70, that pack gun did get cleared out. Shock troops still in the base at Vet 2 now. Down goes 1 T-70 to the Panzer Shreks. And the 2 T-70s actually decide to back off. The shock troops are still there, out of the line of sight or arc of fire from that MG. And they're still being quite annoying, doing quite a lot of damage. Nade goes right at the... Oh! Ooh, well, that was very nice, but actually didn't do the damage that it required. T-70's opening up on that MG, and it's going to take it down. KV-1s are moving up a little bit to the front, but that's about it. And all the infantry is getting ripped to shreds. These shock troops are still in the base. That is amazing. That is ridiculous. Vet 2 Panzer Shreks are trying to clear him out. Down goes 1. Panzer Shrek gets dropped. And here comes for the motherland. All the infantry rushing in. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Panzer Grenadiers and Grenadiers just desperately reinforcing. The shock troops actually pick up a Panzer Shrek. Oh, he didn't actually get the detonated. No. The demolition charge went down on the base sector, and yeah, that was quite ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, I gotta say, good game for Barton. But yeah, I think the main issue for Symbiosis, or the game just went downhill when he lost those 2 Grenadiers early on. Very difficult to recover from that, as you could probably tell here. Barton just dominated the rest of the map because of that. Symbiosis had already invested at that point where he lost those 2 Grenadiers into a sniper, and it was a little bit too late to cancel it. It had already hit the field at that point. So, I mean, he wasn't able to get those Grenadiers replaced quite fast enough, I guess you could say, and the sniper, didn't pan out. He got killed. So, yeah, again, went downhill from there. But yeah, I gotta say, good game for Barton. Pretty abusive there with those T-70s, but it's a very nice strategy. I mean, it's a very nice option, I gotta say, with that new commander. The what they call counterattack tactics, getting that KV-1 heavy tank just for 120 fuel, and just being able to use tier 3, because of that. It's pretty nice. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description below. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching.